Sabres are in action tonight. They will host the Columbus Blue Jackets pregame at 6 for a 6:45 puck drop with the entire league in action tonight. And good news for the Sabres going into tonight's game, defenseman Michael Kesselring is making his season debut, and in net, all signs point to Alex Lyon getting the start this evening. As mentioned, the entire league is in action. That means 16 games in all. We'll actually get underway with 2 games starting at the same time, both getting underway at 6. The Flyers host the Penguins and Calgary's at Toronto, and the night will wrap up at 11 with San Jose hosting the LA Kings. For the Bills, it's an off day, though a potential key injury to keep an eye on for their upcoming opponent in Kansas City. Running back Isaiah Pacheco is considered week to week with an MCL sprain. Other notes in the NFL, the Saints making a QB change. They're going with rookie Tyler Shuck over Spencer Rattler, and the Patriots have agreed to a new 3-year extension with cornerback and return man Marcus Jones. Game 4 tonight in the World Series, first pitch just after 8, and after yesterday's game went 18 innings. For the Jays, Shane Bieber on the bump, and for the Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani, and the Dodgers are up in the series 2-1. And join WGR and Bud Light for a Buffalo Football Friday happy hour. Schopp Bulldog will be broadcasting live this Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. You'll have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase necessary, and you can enjoy other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I don't love Junior Mints. I just don't hate them. I don't understand why they are treated like second-class candy.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Oh,
there's a
understand why a
name.
candy that is basically toothpaste wrapped up in stale chocolate is treated like a second-class candy. All right, I get it. It's a good, valid question.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Is there a time to change? You know, the 3 teams I've drafted this year, second-class candy is pretty good.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.
I've mentioned this before. One of the first words of advice I ever got working in radio, which was working in Rochester on a morning show. That meant getting to the station by like 4:45 every day.
I know what you're about to say.
Never say that you're tired. Because why would somebody want to listen to you if you're like saying you're tired?
I'm dragging. I'm not on it today.
Anything of the sort.
Right.
Never. Why? I like it. I adopted this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why every time I'm about to say that I'm tired, I preface it by saying you should never do that.
Right, but now you're doing it anyways. Yeah, right.
3 a.m. I committed to that ball game, and I honored my commitment. I never got tired watching it.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I never got tired watching it. I was like legitimately interested in it, invested in it.
There are just not enough bags of snacks in my house at any given time to get me through that long.
Never ate.
Without getting tired. Wow.
No, just sort of stared at the game. I got into the game. And it went until, well, it ended at 2:50.
I mean, I believe you, but this is incredible.
Well, I was also enjoying how incredible you might think it was.
Oh, I see.
Why do you go to the World Series? Why do you pay all that money?
Getting all this credit.
So you can say that you went to the World Series.
I did this thing. It was great.
That's it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able.
Don't you wish you were me?
Come in today and say I watched the whole thing, and I did.
Yeah.
I have the luxury, thanks largely to my wife. I have the luxury of not needing to get up in the morning early anymore.
I mean, I absolutely have that.
So that helps. That helps you when you're making the decision.
Yeah.
And it's like the 10th, and you should go to bed, but it's just could be one more hit.
I'm just so impressed that it even qualifies as a decision, because I'm at a stage where, I mean, sure, I eventually turned off my device that was by this point on my nightstand, and I'm watching, lying on my left side, my wife sleeping beside me. I've got the game on. I'm watching. Ohtani hits the double to tie it at 5. I'm like, he's inevitable. He'll do something else. So I choose to turn it off, but I know I probably have already dozed off at some point or another during either the baseball or the football game. It's like choosing to invest in it would have chosen nothing. It would have changed nothing for me.
He did do something else. He walked five times.
Every single other time he came up.
He has more stuff that he takes off for the intentional walk than I pack on weekend road trips. Like he's got the shin thing and the elbow thing and the wrist thing. He's got, he's not alone in this.
Yeah.
But he's got all this stuff. Like it would be more in a suitcase. It would be more than I would take to UMass for a lacrosse weekend. Like it's probably, I'm not sure. Is it under 50 pounds? Could he get it on a plane? Does that even matter when you're flying charter with the Dodgers?
Well,
maybe it's under 50 pounds. Well, what do you want to know? Nothing. You could read about everything that I could attest to and watch the whole thing.
I did a lot of reading.
The poor Blue Jays.
I did a lot of reading.
Best. There were different stages of this commitment, and it was the 12th, I think, when Kershaw pitched. And I know, in the 11th. They showed him at one point, squatting in the bullpen. Are they going to take Emmett Sheehan out for Kershaw for a matchup to start the 11th? No. He comes in for the 11th, Sheehan. And then the 12th, I think, was the inning, the same thing. Part of my thinking was I want to see him. This is it. Last night, the announcer said that's probably the last at-bat of his career, Kershaw. He looks like your dad. He's super heavy now. His beard is all long and scraggly and gray, and he just does not look like
I feel very seen
an all-time
right
great. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't mean it like that, but fine. I'll own it. So he just looks like he's way done.
And he barely wiggled away, right?
He has one batter. It's 5-5. I think it was the 12th. It's 5. This is at that point, I am staying up for him. I want to see Kershaw. Mm-hmm. I want this game. I like the Blue Jays, but much of what I was thinking was I was just rooting for chaos. Just more innings, more stuff. Just give me, and the longer the game goes, the more kind of, in a twisted way, excited I get to be up for something that nobody else is going to have seen. Something is going to happen here. It turns out that's the Freeman home run, and all right, well, you've seen walk-off home runs before. But I'm waiting for Kershaw. That's the first stage of this. Is I got to make sure I am here for him. And here it is. They whatever. It's France who comes in for Springer. And I think maybe he reaches there. And now it's Nathan Lucas, lefty. And this is it. Here comes Granddad Kershaw out of the bullpen. And this is it. And the camera's all over him, just stretching. He has that, that classic, iconic kind of way up here stretch. And then his motion, and it's 3-2, and a walk gives Toronto the lead. It's bases loaded, 2 outs, and Lucas goes for a bad ball.
Yeah, he swings at ball 4. Yeah,
swings at ball 4.
Yeah,
and all right. Well, I saw it, and I thought maybe he would keep pitching because they want to stretch. It's just extra innings, and they don't want to stretch him out per se. But he's a starter. So, no, they were so terrified of him. Guerrero's next. I don't even know if he gets Guerrero if Lucas legs that out or something, if he walks.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Kershaw gets Guerrero. And I was up for this. You might not even know this. You might, but you might not. In the 18th inning, they've got this guy, Klein. The Dodgers. This is the Dodgers. They've just got an embarrassment.
I read about
talent.
Yeah, Klein is barely on the roster, and he's the guy he's the long haul trucker for this game.
And it's 4 perfect innings, and he's throwing 98. They just have a guy who's last that can do that. This other guy, Edgardo, somebody, was 102, and it's the 14th inning, and the Dodgers just have a limitless amount of this talent. That's Sasaki as well, and that's Yamamoto. They just sort of they buy these guys.
I read that Yamamoto was warming up or getting loose. He'd offered to come in if it was going to keep going.
That's the thing I was about to say.
Yeah, I read that.
Yamamoto would have maybe gotten the 19th.
Yeah.
I just watched the guy pitch 9 on Saturday. I was there. I know he did that. And now he's getting loose to pitch the 19th. but we didn't need a 19th.
Yeah.
Freeman's homer. What a night. I mean, I'm dragging today, but whatever. We're going now.
I think you whatever.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
It's more a bit.
If you got to,
I'm tired, but
if you got to sleep, half the morning.
Yeah,
you're
I
fine.
slept like 3:30 to 10. I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah,
no excuses.
That's about normal.
How about we hit some reverse AFC power rankings?
No.
Powered by Empire Electric. You're too tired for this?
Yes,
Your residential neighborhood electrician. Visit empireelectricians.com. Well, I stand by my story from last week. 16 is the Tennessee Titans.
I don't object this week.
Maybe a little bit of a shuffling at the top here. Tennessee, 1-7. Blown out by Indianapolis. You sort of think 14.5 is a lot of points.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
15.
I think I still got to say Jets.
I'll go Cleveland. Where is Cleveland right now? I don't mean on a map.
Just
Where is Cleveland? What are they? Myles Garrett throws down 5 sacks in a game. So what?
and they lose by 20.
Yeah, blown out in that performance.
Like, so what?
Right.
What a waste. Quarterback, no answer, no plan.
No.
I think. Judkin's hurt now. On bye this week, the Browns.
Yeah, credit to the Jets. I'll go Cleveland here.
I don't know if Stefanski will live long enough to see it, but he's proven to be a good coach. I think we still don't know about Aaron Glenn. Full marks for going for 2 down 14. There, I mean, that put them in a position to get kick the go-ahead extra point and win the game.
Troy Aikman wouldn't shut up about it last night.
So
by that I mean he never mentioned it.
So good job. It's maybe the first time he's done something that in a situation like that would be perceived as the right or smart thing to do.
Every team should always do that. No matter what.
And he's been stepping in it mostly, punting against the Bills down 20. Yeah, just what are you doing here, buddy?
How'd you like Dan Quinn last night?
With
his punts.
Yeah, it was a lot of punting.
Way to dig in there. All right, Cleveland 15-14.
I'm going to stick with the Jets here.
Raiders.
No, I'm still going with the Jets.
You guys don't watch football? Didn't know?
No, I did not really. No, I didn't. Were there games this weekend?
Couple. Was the least.
How did the Buffalo team do?
It was the least competitive week in the NFL since 1990.
I saw that only one score game.
Jets. 39-38.
Yeah,
that was the one. That's how good they are. 13. Vegas.
Yep, I'm not going to argue there. That seems like a one and done for everybody involved.
It's Jacksonville at Vegas on Sunday. This is Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Brian Thomas Jr. These are 3 players who were picked in the top 14 picks in fantasy football. And they're all a disaster. Fantasy value-wise, they're all a disaster. If they can't get together, Bowers back on the field, Genty, Brian Thomas Jr. If they can't get together and make something, I should just file my retirement papers from fantasy because, it has to happen. It just has to happen. I'm completely dead if Bowers doesn't get off the mat here. So 12.
I'm going to go Miami here.
Bengals. Miami's a fine choice.
Yeah, I'll go with Miami here.
That's another team I think that is going to be starting completely over in the spring, if not sooner. Nice win, though.
Nice win.
Golf clap for the win.
Baltimore this week, Thursday night, and then us next week.
Oh, they got extra rest.
Extra rest.
And they're home.
Mini bye. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yep.
That is next week, right?
Yeah, that is the next game. Yep.
11. Bengals.
Yeah, sure.
10.
Flacco kind of did the thing again.
He did, but
I mean, they lost, but
they lost.
Yeah, like every team above the Bengals so far, I have not enjoyed watching. I like watching the Bengals, even when it's a disaster. They are somewhat fun.
10.
Yeah, Flacco he's not as charming as Jameis Winston, but he gives you what everybody always talks about Winston giving you. There's going to be plays. If you've got these receivers, make sure they're in your lineup because it's going to be
He'll target Chase 75
It's going to be good.
I mean, they were really in a good spot to be 4-4, and almost getting near a point where you have to remember that Burrow is coming back.
Right.
Like, if they get in, we're last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know their defense is bad, but they're dangerous. It could still happen, but the Jet loss is punishing for that.
Yeah, it was very tough. Yeah.
10. Pittsburgh.
I kind of want to say Jacksonville.
I think I like Jacksonville less than Pittsburgh. Yeah.
That means Jacksonville?
Yes. That means I think Jacksonville should be ahead of Pittsburgh in this exercise.
Okay. 9.
I could actually get to Houston before Pittsburgh.
Not me.
I can't do that. I'll go Pittsburgh here.
All right.
8.
Well, I think you know where I stand.
I guess, yeah. I think it's maybe the Chargers just won, beat Minnesota. No, I'm LA. I think Houston's better than LA.
How?
Quietly, Houston has a plus 50 point differential. It is weird.
That was the Baltimore game. Defense, Chargers injuries.
Yeah.
Who would you rather play in the first round? Normal weather. Texans or Chargers? I would easily be Chargers.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think I'd be Texans.
I think I would be too. I feel like I'm going to be able to get to Stroud.
Yeah, but they might get to you.
Yeah,
We'll find out.
Yeah.
They're going to play in like 4 weeks. What are we doing then? LA? Or Houston, rather? Is
Houston.
8?
Houston. I think
Houston
Zach
won
and
the
I were
vote?
both on Houston, yeah.
7?
I'll go Chargers there. That's fine.
Okay. 6?
Do we got to get
Baltimore?
Baltimore in here? Yeah, I don't want to do that thing I did last week, which is forget about them because they're way down at the bottom of the page I'm looking at.
Okay.
Yeah. Jackson back this week? That's going to happen? Or
Yes,
is he going to
that's
get a
gonna
cold or
No.
something? I mean, I don't know.
He's not going to miss a game
Okay.
on South Beach.
Okay.
We'll see after that.
Right. Right.
You know their schedule, right? The Ravens. Like, we should talk about them at some point. Are they the least bit scary for this right now, the season? Is anybody sort of worried anymore? I think people were more worried about Baltimore than the Chiefs when the season started.
I think that's right. I think the Chiefs looked, and the way the season started, they looked sort of like they looked last year, which is not that threatening, and just keep your stuff buttoned up, and maybe you can get them. Whereas Baltimore just seemed like they had the best roster in football, and injuries took a big chunk out of that, and now they're chasing their season. I don't think people are. I don't think I am. But it won't take much more than them getting to like 4-5 to get my attention. Because I don't think Pittsburgh is capable of running away and hiding on them. So they're always going to be live, provided they just don't lose games 6 and 7 within the next 3 or 4 weeks. I think they'll be live.
There it is. First 6, 7 of the day. 3 straight road games for the Ravens.
Wish I knew what I was doing.
And then 3 at home. At Miami, Thursday night. At Minnesota, which looked a lot tougher when the season started. And then at the Browns. Then it's home to Jets, Bengals, and Steelers. I mean, 5-1 there is very,
right,
plausible.
And they're 7-6 after that.
7-6, and probably in first place if they do that. Very much live. I'm not sure they're scary, but they're very much live. 5, for me, this is clear. New England. New England is the weakest team of those we have not mentioned yet for me.
Yep, I'm with you.
4. Denver.
I'll go Denver. I watched a lot of them on Sunday and was really impressed with Knicks. Again, I mentioned this yesterday. There's the Dallas disclaimer, but and he just was on the money on throws down the field. Just really accurate. So, it helps to have, no pass rush really threatening you, and it's not like the guys in coverage weren't on the screen or anything. Like guys were wide open, but he just put some balls right where they needed to be. I was really impressed with him, and I haven't really been that impressed with him. Mostly, I feel like he's a Sean Payton game manager type.
I still do.
But boy, I was impressed with some of the throws I saw from him on Sunday.
Just anyway. Not a real defense at all. I mean, I hear you.
Yep.
You're saying it. You're acknowledging that, but I just think it's probably that easy right now. Look at what else has happened. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, they all just sort of owned Dallas. 3 for me is Buffalo.
Yep, I'm good there.
2,
Kansas City.
Colts.
Yep.
Colts.
Yep.
KC 1.
The Chiefs to me are the scariest team on the block.
Yep. Okay.
I hope in a few more weeks that looks ridiculous and that Indianapolis is still just beating everybody they play by 20. But right now, I mean, the Bills are playing the Chiefs this week, so I don't have to imagine who I would much rather be playing the Colts. Like if I need to win, if it's January, I would rather play the team that has not done it yet.
Week 12, Thursday night, Bills at Texans. Sunday night, Tampa Bay at the Rams. Monday night, Carolina at San Francisco. Sunday afternoon, Colts at Chiefs.
Something's got to be done.
Let's get the Monday night game out of there. Poor Carolina. They're never on at night, and this is their one night game. I say bump them. Sorry.
They got to go.
Carolina, San Francisco on the Monday night, unless Colts Chiefs ends up being like the big 425 Nance and Romo game, which it I think probably will be if that's a CBS game.
What week is that, did you say?
12.
12. I'm going to look and see right now because the schedule I use does have that information.
For what? Like another big matchup?
TV networks and what the plan is. That game is, as of now, 1 o'clock CBS. Indy at KC. 1 o'clock CBS.
We're going to fix that.
Yeah. If that tells me that game should be eligible to be moved. Because it's not already slotted into one of those prime slots. In fact, it looks like Philadelphia-Dallas 425. That's probably a Fox doubleheader weekend where they've got that window. That means to me that Indy KC game should be more available to move.
I think you're right.
At least what I think I know about how that all works.
There's no other interesting late game that week. Philly-Dallas is the big one. So you don't want to go up against that.
Right. Yes. I think the way that works is that's their weekend. That's their week. So CBS isn't going to be able to, if they wanted to, put Indy and KC in that window. So I don't know how hard they'll fight to keep it if somebody wants to come take it.
This is the only show that gives you this.
This sort of analysis?
I think so.
That's
I don't think anybody else is giving
unfounded.
You this. Oh,
yeah.
Well, right, but it's still interesting.
Sure, yeah.
This is before Thanksgiving. This is the week before Thanksgiving. Well, how do we do? 803-0550. Ross Tucker today. The Sabres home to Columbus tonight. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
your frustration is my frustration, is my questions. And again, as a coaching staff, we work hard on, hey, let's go back to the drawing board and figure out, what we can do to figure that piece of it out and make sure we can execute at a higher level.
Sean McDermott yesterday, we talked a lot yesterday about, well, I think this illustrates the point. He kind of sounds like they maybe lost to Carolina a little bit. Like he's talking about their offense, their passing game in particular, like it's, my word, broken or injured, at least.
Yeah.
Injured? So that topic is still on the table here. Like, they did win 40-9. Imagine a life where, like, that's annoying.
Right.
803-0550 is the number. I think we're living that life, though.
49. They've got their biggest rival coming in for a 425 game with Nance and Romo, and the trade deadline is Tuesday. And like my attention is extremely on the trade deadline. Even though I've got, it's entirely likely we go through this whole week and through this game with the Chiefs without a trade happening, if one happens at all, even. But I'm very distracted by next Tuesday myself.
I think if you are worried that a particular trade target has other suitors, then I think you might go now. Otherwise, it's Kansas City. Like, apart from that one point, I want to see this game first. Or I think they would want to see this game first. Did I win? Do I have a new injury? Do I have a more glaring problem than I did? I think you want this game, probably, or at least very possibly, this game will mean a ton to seedings and playoff position. And, if you, well, I don't know if I mean this. I was going to say, like, if you knew you had the one, which you wouldn't know by week 9 anyway, but if you knew you did, if you were, like, in position for the one, then you might be more casual about, like, you really don't want to trade a draft pick for a player if you don't have to, and spend the extra money and figure out the cap machinations and all those things. So you'd prefer not to do it. If you thought New England was going to beat you to one of these receivers, or Denver, which is rumored, or Pittsburgh, which is rumored, then, well, that's the job of the team on the other end of the phone, I guess.
Right, yeah, and it depends, like, what is their... If it's right that there's only, because there's going to be a limited number of teams that are looking to spin off assets, right? So if there's New Orleans and maybe the Raiders and maybe there's a couple other teams that we haven't really thought about, Brian Thomas Jr. has been mentioned, Jalen Waddle's been mentioned, I don't know. Those are higher end guys, big time, than like, say, Rashid Shaheed, although Olave in New Orleans is higher end too. You might want to wait until it gets right to the end to see if more teams come in and if you can extract anything more as an asset. Can a fourth become a third? Can a third become a second? Like something like that if you're New Orleans. But you also might be reluctant to go through another week on the schedule here. Does New Orleans play this week or are they off?
They play.
They play. You're going to put Shaheed on the field again and run the risk of something happening to him, or whoever.
They might not.
Or they might not. Maybe they'll hold him back because that has happened in the NFL, recently.
They're at the Rams,
so maybe they do that just as a precaution if a deal doesn't get done.
And they just made a quarterback change. So you think they're going to do that?
And then trade away one of their guys,
or just sit them?
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't think I would do that.
Yeah.
I think I got to gamble, but... you've got the Adam Schefters of the world talking about the Saints receivers as possible trade pieces.
And Shaheed has always made the most sense. Like, he's not the most desirable target out there, but he fits a certain profile. The cost should be low because he's not that good. He's not a number one receiver. I think he could help any one of these teams that Schefter mentions or we're mentioning here, including the Bills. But he's not a big ticket. So you don't have to worry about, I think, paying a super premium on it. But I don't know. I mean, I said yesterday the Bills got what they thought was at least a former number one wide receiver. I guess they were hoping he would still be some semblance of that in Amari Cooper last year for a third. To pay the same for Shaheed might be hard to swallow because he's not had the career. He has not accomplished what Amari Cooper. You're not buying what you thought you were buying with Amari Cooper. Forget about how it ended, but just what you would have thought Amari Cooper was making that trade. Like, oh, he's been a number one. Maybe he still is. Shaheed's not that at all. He's a complimentary piece. And again, I think he can complement what the Bills have, so I would still do it. And every year's different, but man, paying that same price would be tough, I think. Like if that were the cost of a guy like him. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but it just might not line up for some GMs to think like, I don't know, like what? There's so much urgency here that I got to go to that level to get this player.
I mean, I'm not the world's number one expert on Rashid Shaheed, but from what I've heard and seen, a lot of teams should be open to this player. Like and the Bills would be one of them. But there could be 7 or 8 teams, I think, that just the possibility of a home run threat, doesn't have to play half the snaps, doesn't, just have to play a full-time role or anything like that, but that you can use to threaten defenses. And, the Bills do not have that player, really, unless it's Palmer, I guess, but they really don't. And we know that. And neither does New England, I think. Neither does Pittsburgh at all. Like just somebody else that you can throw into a 3 wide receiver set that can maybe beat you deep. Like is that really not worth a third to anybody? I mean, to me, that's a fair price. Now, that's easy to say. And, GMs are so protective of their draft assets and everything. Like that's the stock and trade. But to me, like I would do that. The contract isn't prohibitive. So, okay, he's 27. It's really just for right now and to give yourself an asset and, a weapon that you don't have.
He's a rental for anyone who doesn't know that. Like his contract is up after this year. So you're buying him for this year. I mean, you have the option to re-sign him, certainly, but you don't there's nothing cumbersome about it. Like it's a pretty clean, if you just want it to get you through the rest of this year and try to help you win a Super Bowl, you can do that.
Which I'm for.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I think the Bills have every reason to be, maybe even more so than New England. New England is new here. And that can be its own reason in a different kind of way, right? We want to, show that we're here and we're serious, but they're just sort of starting out. Like they might not need to rush it. Like take your time and build and, get assets in the offseason, use your draft picks wisely or as wisely as you can and just sort of be patient and not try to jump the line. Whereas the Bills are they have been, New England is where the Bills were in 2020, basically. I don't even know if they're that level of contender. The Bills halfway through that season became, to me, a real Super Bowl idea.
Yes.
And I don't know if New England's team is all the way there yet, but they've got the record and they've got the schedule. I don't know. I think the motivations could be very different for those two, the Bills and the Patriots. The Bills should have way more urgency to get something done than New England. I think if the right thing fits for New England, okay, that maybe makes sense. And I don't know what their assets are like, if they're sitting on extra picks from stuff that has happened, in the past or what. Then maybe they can flip a few around and make a move. But to me, the urgency shouldn't be what it is with the Bills. The Bills have got to get something done much sooner rather than later, whereas New England has got, they've got time. They've still got rookie years on Drake May's quarterback contract.
From the Bills' position, what's the worst record best record? What's the best record for the Patriots you would take through 13 games? So they're 6-2. And their next 5 are, did that make sense? Their next 5 are home to Atlanta this week, at Tampa Bay, home to the Jets on a Thursday night, at the Bengals, home to the Giants.
They should win 4 out of those 5 games.
If you're the Bills,
It was 5 games, you said, right?
5 games.
Yeah.
If you're the Bills, would you take New England at 9-4 after that?
Yes.
It's still 9-4.
It still is really good, but that schedule, I mean, Tampa, I really need them to lose to Tampa. The other games, I don't think they should probably win them all, so I'd be rooting for them to win one that really they should win, or lose one, that they should win.
That's what I think, about the same. That 2 losses in that 5-game stretch isn't really that good.
Right.
For New England. So that's 9-4. Then they have the bye. Then they play the Bills. Oh, of course.
Extra rest.
It's fixed. Then they go at Baltimore, at the Jets, Miami. How many wins is that? 12? 11 wins? The Bills are going to have to beat them. I think I would say that right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think to win the AFC East, the Bills are going to have to win in Foxborough.
I definitely agree with that.
Week 15. The schedule's too easy.
I don't think there's any way around it. I mean, they could stumble and who knows, right? But they should be favored in those games, I think.
New England?
Yeah.
They should be favored, and they might not be favored next week at the Bucks.
Right. That's the hardest game of that bunch.
Or at the Ravens in week 16, depending on what Baltimore is at that stage. Otherwise, would they be favored? What would the spread be this week if they had the Bills at home? Would they be favored this week? I don't think so. Although the Bills are an underdog themselves this week, by the way.
Yeah.
What would the spread be this Sunday, Buffalo at New England?
Bills -2.
Yeah, I kind of think, like, we just did the power rankings and marked the Bills as better. And, of course, maybe we're biased, but would the Bills be favored? Let me text Sam. Would the Bills be favored this week in Foxborough?
I really think they would be. Reputation, I think that would mean a lot. And the Bills are coming off a 40-9 win, too. So the appearance of having righted the ship is there if you need that. And that, everything I think gets baked in. So, yeah, I think they'd be favored. I'm not trying to be homery here. I think they would be favored.
I might agree. The Sabres are favored tonight.
Yes, they are.
-120.
Yeah.
Not much. Kind of wanted that to be higher. Better. Bigger.
Yeah. That's all right. I did the -1.5 at +198 with a Tage Thompson hat trick.
The Sabres are, and they're kind of decent right now, right?
Sure.
They are 2-1 to win this game by more than 1 goal against Columbus. What do I not know about Columbus here? Like, it's that unlikely? I mean, 2-1, look that up in the NFL. You're never going to want to bet it.
No.
It's never a bet you would make straight up. Really, the Sabres are 2-1 to win by more than 1? Wow, that doesn't sound great. Right?
That's about as big. Like I said it last week when I mentioned a San Jose and Chicago games that they were both on the money line. Now this wasn't even giving up, having to cover 1.5 goals. They were in the 200s, and like that is very rare. I look at those lines in hockey every day, and very rarely it's got to be the worst team in the league against one of the best teams in the league to get a number over 200 just without goals attached to it. And that happened twice last week. So I don't know. The -1.5 at 198 is about as big as it gets.
It's just like, don't you want the Sabres to get a little bit more credit?
No one in the league does, really. No one in the league does. It feels to me.
Well, I don't know the 1.5 business like you do, but just that they're -120 to beat Columbus
right.
is at home is just not. It's not reassuring to me.
No,
it doesn't sound like okay, we got it.
Yeah,
but should it? I mean, I guess not. They've won 4 out of 5.
That's what they've done,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Shootout loss,
overtime loss,
Toronto.
Yeah.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Ross Tucker coming up at 4. You know Ross from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. among other ventures. We have the Sabres tonight, home to the Blue Jackets, pregame at 6 here on WGR. Ross Tucker coming up just after 4. The Sabres host Columbus tonight, 6:45 start. That's because every team in the league plays tonight, and they stagger the start times by 15 minutes or so.
Right.
From 6 to 11.
Couple of games at 6. There's one at 6:30, and then this one with the Sabres at 6:45, and it just goes through the night that way. That's right. All 32 teams are playing.
Michael is with us. Hello.
Hi, guys. I was just saying that after that game last night, which I kind of was in and out, but Ohtani comes into the game 3 for 3 in his last game, including a home run. You faced him 3 times in this game. He's got 2 doubles and a home run. And all of a sudden, the Jays go out there to talk to Dominguez. Well, I'm thinking to myself, well, they're going out there. It's going to be a quick conversation. It's like, hey, guess what? We're walking this guy. We just want to make sure that, you get the signals and we get our signals crossed. Conversation continues, and I'm like, they're going to end up pitching to this guy. And I still cannot believe, and even John Smoltz was like, well, they're going to just tell him, don't give him anything to hit, and we know what happened. I just could not believe that Schneider decided to pitch to a guy who turned out, you faced him 4 times in the game. He's got 2 home runs and 2 doubles. And you have a couple plays in that game, the throw by Guerrero, the throw by Barger from right field. You've got, there was a couple mistakes, like the guy being off first base on 3-2, or France getting gunned down at third base. But that game sits on the Schneiders. In old-time baseball, Billy Martin would be like, you throw a guy a strike, and I'm going to punch you out, and B, we're going to take your meal money. I cannot believe it. And that game belonged to the Blue Jays. They should have had that game in their pocket, and deciding to pitch to the guy who's probably the best hitter at a time that he's red hot, and he's on a 6 for 6, 3 home runs tear.
No, he went 1 for 4 on Saturday. You're talking about how he did against Milwaukee, but he went. He fouled out on Saturday night twice at the game I was at.
Didn't he hit a home run in that game?
No, he had a single maybe in the 8th or 9th. But.
Okay.
Yeah,
he homered late in game 1.
He homered late in game 1.
Yeah.
I'm not on board with this at all. I hate the intentional walk. It's always easy the next day. And they did then intentionally walk him literally 5 straight times after that.
Well, 4,
I don't know.
the one they pitched to him, but it was like they threw him 4 straight balls.
Yeah, okay, right. Which you can call that intentional if you want.
Right.
Yeah, no, I hate the intentional walk. He is the toughest case, though, maybe ever. Bonds was like this for not doing it, or the best case for doing it. So I won't say that's not true, whether he went 1 for 4 on Saturday or not. But it wasn't like he, the caller said he was like 6 in a row. I wanted Lauer to pitch to him in whatever inning that was, in 2 in the morning when my dog was on my lap asleep. Whenever that was, I thought you could give Lauer Ohtani, but they didn't. They got away with it. It was just, I would just never say that this was their game. There were a couple of plays, but they really didn't hit. Men on all the time. They left 15, 16 men on base. They had a 1-run lead at 1 point or 2 points, but it wasn't anything more than that.
I think
they led 4-2.
4-2, and then Ohtani tied it, and then 5-4, and Ohtani tied it with a double. They did have, somebody got thrown out in the 10th at home. Was that Snyder? Someone, Goggles guy. He
Schneider.
Very slow.
Yeah, you're right.
Coming around third, and he was out by a mile. Even the catcher, if you watch replay, the catcher, it's a perfect relay. It's a perfect throw. It didn't need to be perfect, but it's perfect. And he goes to put the tag down, and the guy's not even in the screen.
He's not there yet.
He's not even there yet. That's how
it was almost blocking the plate by the modern standard, and they did challenge it. But come on, you can't overturn that one. He was out by so much.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was also just so long. And I think the conversation about whether the regular season rules should apply. It's the World Series, and you're going until 3 in the morning. I don't know what to do. I don't love the regular season thing, but I can live with it because there's 162 games.
Right.
Here, you don't want shootouts in the finals, but then you get to 5 overtime games in the finals. I guess it's going to happen. Let's hope it doesn't happen again tonight.
Yeah.
Nobody's up for that. Thanks, Michael. Ross Tucker next here on WGR.
They host to the Columbus Blue Jackets pregame at 6 for a 6:45 puck drop. The entire league in action tonight. Good news for the Sabres. Defenseman Michael Kessering is making his season debut and in net. All signs pointing to Alex Lyon getting the start tonight. As mentioned, the entire league is in action. It's 16 games in all. We'll get underway with two of them both getting underway at 6. The Flyers hosting the Penguins and Calgary at Toronto. And then the night is going to wrap up at 11. San Jose hosting the LA Kings. Off day today for the Bills, though a potentially key injury to keep an eye on for their upcoming opponent in Kansas City. Running back Isaiah Pacheco considered week to week with an MCL sprain. And some other notes around the NFL. Saints making a QB change, going with rookie Tyler Shuck over Spencer Rattler. And the Patriots have agreed to a new 3-year extension with cornerback and return man Marcus Jones. And then Game 4 tonight with the World Series. First pitch just after 8 p.m. For the Jays, Shane Bieber on the bump. And for the Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers do lead that series 2-1. And join WGR and Bud Light for Buffalo Football Friday Happy Hour. Schopp and Bulldog will be broadcasting live this Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. You'll have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase necessary. And you can enjoy other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Halloween party today here. I didn't make it. I'm blaming the Blue Jays for not wrapping that thing up 4 hours earlier last night. Didn't get to the party. And the vending machine is broken. I like to have, as you know, viewers will have maybe detected vitamin water or an iced tea or something to drink. And so no, it doesn't work.
Everything's down out there? The snacks and the drinks, or just
I
the
don't
drinks?
know. I just always want one of the two things I mentioned. That's it.
Okay, all right.
That machine isn't working. So, I thought it's Halloween party day. There might be a beverage in the fridge. And there is. 2-liter bottle of a popular diet soda.
Okay, well, that'll work then.
I really was hoping for a lot more. Who knows how long it was in there? It might have been put in there today. It might have been put in there in July.
It's a little flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does not look, that looks like old coffee.
Well, I can confirm.
When a glass of
it's old
soda
something.
looks like old coffee, you know you're not drinking the freshest stuff.
Open it hoping for that sound.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of a sound, but it wasn't. It was like a roaring.
You're opening it almost hoping to have to close it back up because you can't open it too quickly, otherwise it's going to fizz over.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not what happened,
Didn't
though.
get that at
Sadly.
all. Yeah.
On the line is, so now that's cleared up. On the line is Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker. Insider calls are brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Ross, what's new?
What's new is I have a couple questions. May I begin
Yes.
my segment today with questions?
Anytime you want. Yes, we're ready.
Okay, what percentage of people in Buffalo, a.k.a. Bills fans, are also Toronto Blue Jays fans?
I think it's pretty small, but right now it might be peaking. They played here during COVID, and Guerrero is a superstar, and they're in the World Series.
Some of these guys played AAA ball here in Buffalo, so there's some attachment from that fan base, but this has largely been a Yankee town in my experience. So, there's probably more than ever because of this relationship and because of what Mike said about them playing here during COVID. But it's nowhere near the majority of baseball fans.
10% of Bills fans? maybe?
Who's that? Buffalo AAA is the affiliate for who?
The Blue Jays. That's what I'm saying. Like guys that are on this team now played here pretty recently.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was Cleveland for some reason.
Used to be.
Okay, maybe when I was up there?
Yep.
Was it Cleveland?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that makes sense. So then there is a decent attachment then.
Yeah.
If Buffalo's the AAA affiliate for the Blue Jays, because I've learned a couple things. Well, first of all, we know that there's a lot of Bills fans in Toronto and in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Bills fans. I've also learned over the last week or so that the Blue Jays are like the national team of Canada, and that they've got fans throughout the entire country, and like people in Calgary and Edmonton and all these other cities are like big Blue Jays fans, and they get seen throughout the country to the point where the Blue Jays actually have bigger television audience than like the Dodgers or the Yankees, because they are the team of Canada. They are the national team. So I didn't really know that, but that's cool, I guess. And then
Yes.
when you said, Mike, that you stayed up to watch that game, God bless you, by the way, but also I thought maybe there's a bunch of people in Buffalo that are Blue Jays fans. I don't know. Maybe that's like their squad. I hadn't really thought of it. I didn't remember it being that way when I was up there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't remember anybody talking about anything other than the Bills or the Sabres when I was up there.
Right.
Like,
that's really
it was almost like baseball and basketball did not exist.
That's kind of the right point, I think, mostly. Like, it's not that Buffalo generally dislikes those teams, but I just feel like we're really not, as a community, we're not that into it. You know, it's just about the Bills and the Sabres, like you said. I also went to game two.
I told you guys this, but Mike, are you just a baseball guy, or do you like the Blue Jays?
I love baseball, and I am a bandwagon Blue Jays fan. Like, when you were with the Bills, I didn't really care at all. They were winning like 73 games a year or something like that, probably. But when they're good, I get into it. I went to game 2 in Toronto, and so I've got a string going of being up until like 2, 3 a.m. It's not good.
Yeah, so the kid that pitched for them in game 1, I think it's like Jurasic or something.
You're Savage, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're Savage, yeah. He is 23 years old, and he grew up like 7 miles from where I grew up.
Yes, that's right.
So I mean, I don't know him, but I know of him, and it's, you know, I played against his high school in basketball and stuff in high school growing up. He went to Boyertown High School. I went to Wyomissing. I know everybody in Western New York cares deeply about this, but it is wild to see like a 23-year-old kid from my neck of the woods start World Series Game 1 as a pitcher, and he wasn't even like that highly sought after coming out of high school. I guess he just learned this pitch that's like unstoppable or something.
Yeah, he has a splitter, but then he has a splitter, and then in game 1 he really didn't use it. Like he couldn't find it. But they won. He got through a few innings and they won.
And he's been on quite a ride. I mean, he started, I think, playing in low A in Florida, and then higher A in Vancouver, and then double A, which is in New Hampshire, and then eventually here, and then eventually Toronto, and now he's in the World Series. It's been quite a season for him.
That is unbelievable. Okay, my other question is, one of your commercials during the break, because I was listening, is about border attorneys.
Yes.
You know, and the border can be really hard on couples. So you need to get border attorneys. What am I missing? Why do I need a border attorney?
I don't know that you do.
I hope you don't.
I think I'm speaking way out of school. I think if you might have a record, they're not going to want you into Canada. Like, I think it can be tough getting back and forth if you have.
Oh, if you have a criminal record,
yes,
it's hard to get back and forth.
You can't get in.
And these guys can help you.
Yeah, right. It can be, right? I mean, it's one of these things that can just get flagged randomly, and then you're stuck. But I think what these attorneys are selling is the opportunity to have that taken care of ahead of time.
There you go.
Got it. Okay. All right. I just wanted to know. I got both those things where I was intrigued during the commercial break.
Well, good. So here are the Bills, Kansas City next, 40-9, the final in Carolina. We can get right to the Chiefs game if you want. I just wonder if you think they're okay. We've had a couple of days where we're talking more about their faults, and there was a lot of that before this game too. Even Sean McDermott sounds, when it comes to their passing game, that he feels like it's not quite right, to put it mildly. What do you think? What are you seeing?
Well, let's start with the positive. You guys know I'm a glass half full guy. I'm a positive guy. I think that's super important in life. I mean, that was exactly what the doctor ordered for the Bills in terms of coming out, taking care of business, getting a big win, getting the O-line going, the run game going, defense looking better. I mean, and you can say, oh, it's the Panthers. I mean, they were 4-3. They had won 4 NFL games. And so for the Bills to go down there and destroy them like that was exactly what they needed on a lot of levels, including confidence, going into this matchup against the Chiefs. I mean, I think there probably are still some concerns about the passing game, and I think the Ed Oliver injury is very, very unfortunate because I've argued for a while that I think after quarterback, the second most important position in the NFL is defensive tackle in particular. I mean, D-line in general, but D-tackle in particular, because of how impactful those guys can be snap to snap against both the run and the pass. So I think D-tackle is a more important position than edge rusher. I don't know that it was thought of that way when I was playing, but it is now, or at least I think it should be now, because of how quickly the quarterbacks can get rid of it, how good they are at stepping up in the pocket. Whereas a disruptive D-tackle, even if it doesn't count as a hit or a quarterback pressure, they can still be that word, disruptive, and affect the quarterback. So that feels like a pretty significant injury. We had talked last week a lot about Greg Cosell's comments about the Bills' passing game, and maybe the answer when you have Josh Allen, a quarterback, is not to be getting the ball out of your hands that quickly. Maybe there should be more stuff intermediate or down the field. But I got to be honest with you. You guys know how much I love Greg Cosell. He is my co-host on Thursday and Friday on the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. 46 years, NFL Films, really well revered. I think it was the same episode, the same show, where he talked about Patrick Mahomes being the fastest in the NFL from snap to ball out, and how quick and rhythmic the Chiefs' passing game was. So that actually might be a question I asked Greg on Thursday or Friday this week, is like, hey, Greg, how can you on one hand criticize the Bills because the passing game is so quick and ball out, and maybe with Josh Allen's arm they should, expand it, drive the ball down the field a little bit more, and then in the same episode talk about how the Chiefs' offense is awesome again because Mahomes gets the ball faster than everybody else. To me, that, Mahomes has a pretty good arm too. So, you know what that sounds like to me? It's like, well, the one's working and the other one's not.
Right.
So praise this. You know what I mean? Like that's not Greg, but that sounds like.
Yep.
What if it was flipped? We would say the exact opposite. Oh, look at Allen. He's getting the ball out so quick. They're giving him all these choices, and he's beating him with his brain. Doesn't have to always be his big arm. And Mahomes, man, they can't drive the ball down the field. They should. That's Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. Some of that just has to do with how well you're playing, I think.
Yeah. Further on the defense, I mean, the Oliver loss is huge, and you've already highlighted that. They did get contributions on Sunday from guys two who were suspended, Ogunjobi and Hoyt really flashed, Ross. I mean, 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble. I mean, he just was a presence. So that was really welcomed. And they also got Maxwell Hairston, their rookie corner, first-round pick, on the field for 20-some snaps, and that seemed to go pretty well. And they even got a younger, athletic safety back there that may have saved a touchdown early in this game. I think he did, because if Rapp were on the field or Jordan Poyer were on the field, I think Dowdle runs away from both of those guys, and Hancock caught him from behind on that play. So they did get some reinforcements on defense, but Hoyt to me was the top story in that part of the thing.
Well, I love that dude. He came on my show in the off season, and yes, we got the Ivy League connection, but just talking with him, his mindset, just a crazy story. He was like a 310-pound, run-stuffing D tackle at Browns, and then somehow he gets to the Rams and loses weight, but he can really run and move, and I just like his mentality a lot. I mean, it strikes me, I don't know if there's anybody before. Oh, there was somebody before me. Think about the proud lineage of Ivy League players for the Buffalo Bills. Jack Kemp, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ross Tucker, now Michael Hoyt after a game. I think pretty clearly if Brandon Beane's listening, the Bills need to get more Ivy League guys.
Hey, don't leave out Jackson Hawes.
Yes, yeah, I'm so glad you said that because people want to say Georgia Tech for him when he was there for like 5 months, which drives me crazy. Jackson Hawes is another one. I mean, think about it. I don't know if I'm missing any. Hit me up on social media if I am, at Ross Tucker NFL. But basically, the Bills have cornered the market on Ivy League superstars over the years, and they need to add even more.
Although we're not, I don't think we can count Jack Kemp. He went to Occidental, but maybe.
I thought he went to Dartmouth. Oh, that was his son.
His Jeff Kemp went to Dartmouth. That's right.
That's right. It was his son that went to Dartmouth. Okay,
Right.
Forget him. Then the new narrative is Ross Tucker started this Ivy League
Yes.
pipeline
Yes.
to the Buffalo Bills in the early 2000s that went to Fitzpatrick, then Hawes and Hoyt.
Right.
Okay, new narrative. We got it.
And look at them now. Insider calls are brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. There's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. There's also the Even Money Betting Podcast. Kansas City, a 1.5 favorite as of only, Tuesday for Sunday's game. Does that surprise you in either direction?
No, it doesn't. I mean, I think most people would tell you they think the Chiefs are better, but the game is in Buffalo. The Chiefs are on a short week. Buffalo has kind of had their number in the regular season, as we know. The Chiefs in the postseason. You can't do this, but I'd love to see what the number would be if this was a playoff game. I think it would be different, right or wrong. I like the Bills, as I said on today's Even Money Betting Podcast. I like the Bills as a teaser leg, up to 7.5 points, paired with something else, because I just have faith that they'll at least be in it, or even if they're down 2 scores, that Josh will get them a touchdown or a score late to make it a 1-score game. I do have to tell you guys, it gave me some pause. The Chiefs are that good. So even taking the Bills and the 7.5 was not like a no-brainer for me because, man, the Chiefs look really good. You watch them last night, and it felt like the Commanders couldn't have played much better. Yeah. I mean, the Commanders, they get the interception from Lattimore. Kelsey goes off his hands. Reiner gets the interception. Mariota, in the first half, that's about as well as I've ever seen him play. He outplayed Mahomes. Then the second half starts. It's like bing, bang, boom, touchdown, Chiefs, first 3 drives. I talked to you guys about it last week. This is the best their offense has looked in years. How about this? Last year, they were undefeated at this point. This year, they have 3 losses, and yet their point differential, right, how many points they've scored versus their opponent, is better this year than last year.
For the whole season.
They have a better point differential because they're just smashing teams now. And I don't know. I think that makes it even more important that the Bills win this game. And I know we've talked about it the last couple of years, and it's been like, does it really matter? Because they're going to play against each other again in the playoffs, and maybe you'd rather lose this one and then have a better chance of beating them in the playoffs or whatever. I actually think it does kind of matter because the Chiefs are looking so good right now that I think it would be really nice confidence boost for the Bills and, quite frankly, for the rest of the NFL if somebody could take down the Chiefs, because these last few games, they've been, like, scary good.
Here we go again with that.
Right.
Ross, what have you got going this weekend? Any games?
Yeah, man, this is kind of wild. I have a CBS television doubleheader, which means Saturday I will be on every television in the country, including everybody listening, for Army at Air Force, noon Eastern, which, by the way, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yes.
And I adore those games for a million different reasons. Like, those are my favorite games to do. Because I just talked to 2 Air Force kids today. They're incredible. And then there's one flight from Denver to Nashville. I will be on it because I have Chargers Titans for CBS on Sunday. So the rarely before, if ever done, CBS back-to-back doubleheader college NFL weekend for me.
You're closing in on Herb Street. You just got to get like a pregame show in between in some remote location,
and a dog
and a few dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. But two things different. Number one, he has a private plane. I do not. And then number two, he gets. I mean, he has a meeting, but he doesn't have a game on Friday. There's a day in between. I've done the Thursday radio, Saturday game, or I've done the Sunday, Monday night radio.
Okay.
To do TV back-to-back days, it's more about the meetings. It's more about like tomorrow I'll go right from the Air Force head coach to the Chargers coordinators, and it's just kind of keeping it all together, and then the back-to-back nature of it. But I would do it every weekend if they let me. I mean, you guys know the way I am. I'm a sicko. I love this stuff.
Thanks for fitting us in, Ross. Appreciate your time as always. We'll talk next week.
Always. See you guys. Hey, let me know if you need a border attorney.
Likewise.
Noted. All right. There you go. Ross Tucker, his weekly appearance with us here on WGR is brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Hang on. No, I messed that up. Hang on. That was Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker. Insider calls are brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side. It was going to be the same thing. I'm sorry. I just got to the wrong line on my notes.
All right. I've done it. Maybe.
I'll be okay.
I think I know the difference between. I think I know what Greg Cosell would say to Ross. I watched the whole football game last night, but what I saw, they made it look so easy on offense. The difference is the wide receivers.
Where's the ball going when it's coming out that fast?
It's a lot of short, sideways to Rice and Worthy or even Kelsey. And we came to resent that when the Bills were doing that because they weren't getting big gains out of it. They tried that. I mean, they've done plenty of – that's how last season ended. Everything was right at the line of scrimmage. That's not everything Kansas City did, but it was some of it. And those guys getting open, even intermediate, that's the difference. And so they can – get the ball out quickly, but somebody's there. He had one, Mahomes was incredible, what I saw from him last night. He had one where they call it climbing the pocket, and he sort of turned to the left and hit Juju, maybe it was, who was just open and would not have even been in his sort of line of sight. But he, just in time, as he was about to have to take off to run, turns and makes that throw to the left. So I wonder if, it's really as simple as that when the Bills do it, what is it worth? They're just not getting much out of the passing game, and the Chiefs are. So maybe it's not more complicated than that. I'm not Greg Cosell. 803-0550 for your theories. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, back after sports on WGR.
dancing so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day, I'm right. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster. Oh, roller coaster.
The Columbus Blue Jackets pregame at 6. It is a 6:45 puck drop tonight with the entire league in action. Good news, though, for Buffalo. Defenseman Michael Kessering is making his season debut, and in net, all signs are pointing to Alex Lyon getting the start. Now, as mentioned, the entire league is in action. That does mean 16 games in all. 2 games will get us underway, both at 6, Flyers hosting the Penguins and Calgary at Toronto, and the night is going to wrap up at 11 with San Jose hosting the Kings. Off day for the Bills. They'll get back to work tomorrow, but just a few minutes ago, the team did announce some roster moves. They have signed defensive tackle Jordan Phillips and safety Jordan Poyer to the active roster, and then somewhat unsurprisingly have placed defensive tackle Ed Oliver on injured reserve. And then game 4 tonight in the World Series. First pitch just after 8. For the Jays, Shane Bieber is on the bump, and for the Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers are up in that series 2-1. And Sports Talk on WGR is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch the local NFL games live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
I'm still counting and waiting on deals for wide receivers. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills, the Denver Broncos, other teams that have made calls about wide receivers. We've got the New Orleans Saints sitting on a collection of wide receivers in which I think at least one will be dealt. And if I had to bet, I would say Rashid Shaheed is the guy that interests most teams for his speed and his talent, and the guy whose contract is up after this year, who the Saints, I think, would be most willing to part with if the compensation were fair and right.
Oh, that little caveat at the end. I'm very familiar with that useless phrase as a fantasy player.
That guy's 100% getting traded. Rashid Shaheed is getting traded.
Well,
I don't know that the Bills are going to be the team that pulls him into the boat, but the Saints are going to find something that meets whatever criteria Schefter is describing there.
But only for the right price.
Oh, sure. It's got to be the right price. Right. Yeah. We'll find afterward what exactly that right price was, of course.
Yeah, right.
All along, they were looking for blank.
That's what they got.
And that's what they got. Here came your team name here with that asset, and there you go. I would be stunned if that guy doesn't get traded. Shaheed.
I predict he will be also. I think a second is the very best the Saints would do.
Yeah.
A third is pretty good, I would say, for him.
Me too.
Pretty good.
Me too.
But then, with these draft pick trades, you can still ask yourself if it's worth it. I mean, in one school of thought, you just trade everybody and accrue 10 extra draft picks or something. Like, why stop at one? You're making this trade because your team is losing. You're actually better off if it loses more often. So, anybody that's not going to be around, and if you're a team like that, you can justify not having literally anyone back. Why stop at one? But, if it's a fifth, like this trade the Titans made yesterday, where they went from the 6th round to the 5th round, what's the point? Like, what's the value of that, really? It's not much. Your hit rate is going to be about the same once you get down to that point of the draft. So it's something. But I think you can get to a point where just why are we bothering to do this? Like,
right.
It's embarrassing to.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys traded Amari Cooper to the Browns, I think, for a 6th round pick, and that was laughed at. And then Amari Cooper got good again, playing for Cleveland, and wow, Dallas, great job. So, but that was fair. Like, why would you even want a 6th round pick? Like, just hold on to him. Let the season play out for a while before. Then there's the money. Like, you don't want to have to pay the player necessarily. Anyway, it's all obvious. Right?
Yeah, and there is also, I think, probably something to be said for, depending on the guy, where he's at in his career, where is your team at? Like, let him go try to win something. Not that was what Dallas was doing, trading him to Cleveland. I don't remember what everybody's records were at the time, but
offseason.
I think that can play into it. That there's, you want to have the reputation of doing right by your players, and when you can do that, you, I think, should try to do that. It should never be the thing that is the guiding principle, but, you can do a guy a solid, fine. I think you should. I think that can help you in future situations.
CJ's next. Hello.
Hey, gentlemen. I've been listening to most radio shows, meaning like the sister stations, Patriot stations, blase. And I'm curious to know why everybody outside of our radio stations, as far as fans that call in, think the Bills don't need something big. We're all afraid that the Bills will get Amari Cooper or what's a free agent, Tyler Lockett, or we got Gabe Davis in the back. That doesn't scare anybody to think they fixed the offense. But is that enough to win a Super Bowl in a year where there's so much parity? We didn't know the New England Patriots were going to be this good. Nobody could tell me, hey, the Colts are going to be an awesome team with Daniel Jones at quarterback. There's a lot more teams that we need to beat, and I don't think we have the horses to win a Super Bowl. To make the playoffs, yes, any receiver will help us to open it up like Amari Cooper did last year. But to win a Super Bowl, you need to get a guy like Diggs. Not for nothing. I know Diggs is I guess we don't have the cap to do certain things. I want us to do something special and just eat the money because we have the talent now and we don't have the time to keep wasting our team like we did when we wasted our defense. Let's not waste this offensive line. They're not going to be together next year.
Well, I don't know what people in other cities are saying about them. You claim to. Do they need something big? You also want to consider how much time they have here to acclimate someone new into the offense and have it get to a point where the guy is fully, productive. And I think with wide receivers, that's a little bit of a process. I don't think it's maybe as much of one at other positions necessarily. You could talk me into something, if there's an elite player and he's going to cost a one and the Bills can afford it financially, I probably would support it.
I 100% would. If that's Olave, if that's Jalen Waddle, again, affording it, like being able to fit it in right now and, the future you can figure out. I don't know that all those things are the same. Like Olave's at a different point. Waddle's already got a contract extension. I feel like that almost might rule him out entirely at this point, given the cap room the Bills do not have. Whereas Olave is heading into a fifth-year option and is eligible for a new contract. You could maybe even do that right away and just change everything about what he's owed right now. Again, if you have the appetite for that, I'm all for going as big as is allowed. I mean, a first-round pick. I don't know that that's realistic. And again, like the money has to work. That's why Shaheed, I think, will be very sought after because a lot of contending teams do not have a lot of money. Like, I don't know everyone's, I could look, but sitting here just talking right now, I don't know everybody's cap situation. But Shaheed doesn't cost a lot. And I think a third should be, if they get a second for him, that would be stunning to me. I'm not saying I wouldn't pay it if that's what the market is telling you and you want to make a move and you want to win this race and keep him from going to some other contending team and have him on your team too. Okay, fine. But the money part of it and where he's at in his contract, like the commitment, it's really like renting a former 40-goal scorer or something and plopping on your hockey team at the trade deadline. You're renting him. You're just trying to get the most out of him. Hope he helps you here now, and the future is not really pertinent at all in making that move. It can be at a later date, but there's enough reason to do it just for now, I think. And I'd say the same thing about a bigger asset, too. But a bigger asset means probably you're tying yourself to someone longer term. You're not going to rent somebody for a first-round pick in the NFL.
No.
It just does not happen.
Hope not. Yeah. The last point I'd make to that is if you're talking about a bigger trade, that's a long-term, that's a philosophical shift. I mean, that is the official end of the everybody eats era if they were to do something where somebody, a clear number one is brought in. I do not expect that to happen, but I don't think it's impossible. I think they should want to be aggressive, and maybe they are ready to change how they're perceived, how they play. Thanks, CJ. The Saints are turning to Tyler Shuck. That's actually how apparently he says his name. For his first NFL start this week, they play the Rams. He did get in relief their last game against Tampa. And even though he is a rookie, there are 12 starting quarterbacks in the league who are younger than he is. He comes in as the 13th youngest.
Including Josh Allen. No, that's not right. Sorry.
Not including Josh Allen. But I'm sure there are some, I don't have that list. I'm sure there are some interesting names on that list. Like, really? Darnold is really young, right? That's one that.
Yep.
Maybe he's not younger than this guy.
I don't think he is, but he was really young when he came in the league, that's for sure.
Darnold is younger than Burrow, I think. That's the one. And Kincaid is a year older than Kyle Pitts. Those are the only two things I know.
Right.
Also, I know this, and this is gonna upset people. So just you've been warned.
Okay.
Me, for one. Mentalfloss.com for Halloween has published a map of the United States with each state's favorite candy. Most popular Halloween candy by state, based on the top uniquely popular candy purchases in the month leading up to and ending on Halloween in 2024.
We get candy corn, don't we?
No.
Thank God.
I guess it's better than that. It's funny because
anything would have to be better than candy
maybe
corn, in my opinion.
Fine, maybe. My friend that I went to Toronto with had a bag of this candy in his car, and he just accidentally dumped it all over the back seat. So we had Twizzlers all over his back seat of his car. Unfortunate. Twizzlers.
We're going with licorice here?
We are going with Twizzlers. Most popular Halloween candy by state. That's our favorite candy.
Did everybody's grandpa vote? Like what are we doing here?
Who is well, it's an outrage.
It is. It is. No.
It's an outrage. I'll give Washington State some credit here. Twix.
Respectable.
It's not the obvious like Reese Cups or Twizzlers.
I love a good Twix.
Yeah, fine, good. Yeah,
don't
Twix.
Not a fan
Twix.
of the no. Twix is. Oh, there's Halloween candy left over. Good. I got some Twix. I'm gonna stash this. This may or may not happen on a regular basis in my house. Let me stash this bag in the basement so that the filthy animals don't go through it in like 3 days. And every now and then while I'm watching a hockey game at 9:00 at night, some Twix downstairs.
I'll eat a Twix.
I'm going to go get a little fun-sized Twix.
Fun-sized Twix.
Yeah.
Other popular candies by state. Reese Cups I always say Reese Cups. I know I must be like a 5-year-old saying it that way. They might be number one here, most states. Laffy Taffy. Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska. Laffy Taffy, that's the best you can do. Sweet Smiles candy in the Southeast, never heard of it.
Here, have some candy. Hurt your teeth. Thanks.
That is the point of candy, though. Red Vines.
I don't even think I know what that is.
Montana, Idaho, Arizona. Favorite candy, Red Vines. Sweet Tarts. Sweet Tarts.
That's old school.
South Dakota, Oklahoma, what's that one? Utah and New Mexico. Sweet Tarts. I'm doing this, I'm identifying the states from memory, by the way.
Good job.
Nerds.
Come on.
Alaska.
Well, all right.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Because why would they have other candy in Alaska?
The truck doesn't make it up there that often. So he's got to live with nerds.
Nerds. Really? Alaska. Okay.
I can see it. I'll allow it.
Okay, sure. Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar, the Carolinas. Snickers, California, Nevada, what's that one? Maryland. Maryland just sneaking in there with Snickers in a Reese's Cup world over there in the mid-Atlantic.
They're trying to be different.
Airheads, did I mention that one yet?
No, you did not mention Airheads yet.
Massachusetts. Wow. I know. What's going on there?
Is this something where like the candy conglomerate wants all the candies to be mentioned so they all get a state
maybe.
or something? Because I don't. This feels like participation trophies.
One more.
Nerds and Airheads, get out of here. Even Sweet Tarts. I mean, I like Sweet Tarts, but oh my God, like
yeah, that's fair.
That's like 1960.
That is fair. One more. I've never heard of this one. Trolli. Trolli. Texas and Georgia.
I don't know what that is.
Probably some kind of jerky-related candy.
Jerky-related candy.
Texas and Georgia. I don't know. Jerky-related
candy.
Jerky adjacent. I'm directionally accurate. Jerky adjacent. Florida, Skittles, your favorite.
I love Skittles.
How about Florida coming through to save saving the Republic?
Thank you, Florida.
Florida
for a change.
For once, Florida here to save the Republic. Skittles
Who'd
is
have thunk?
its favorite candy. I know. Everybody has a day, you know. Everybody makes a run. Everybody makes a run. Florida, Skittles. All right, we're going to have to settle for Twizzlers. Also Twizzlers. Michigan, what's that one? Wisconsin, Illinois, and I think that's Missouri.
Oh, Twizzlers making a stand.
Twizzlers. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. The Sabres host Columbus tonight, pregame at 6. The game's at 6:45, early start. This is WGR. Join WGR and Bud Light for a Buffalo Football Friday happy hour. This Friday, Bulldog and I will be at Neighbors Pub from 3 to 7. Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. Your chance to enter to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase necessary. Enjoy other live broadcasts of ours coming up at Leo's and Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. Trolley are gummy worms, I'm told.
Okay.
Candy Gate.
Candy Gate.
Going back to an earlier portion of our show, Trolley, apparently the most popular candy in the states of Texas and Georgia. Here's Mario with us. Hi, Mario.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah. I think this is the first time in the last few years I've noticed that despite the 40-9 win, there's actually some like national media pundits and some online articles that I'm reading where they didn't look at the Bills fans as like overreacting because they had such a big win, and they actually identified the issues of the passing game that we've all been talking about. And so I just wanted to ask you guys, whose decision was it when they wanted to move towards the 12 and 13 man personnel? Was that Ken Dorsey originally?
I don't remember it being Dorsey.
Well, Dorsey wanted, the story was that Dorsey wanted Kincaid because they wanted to use 2 tight ends. So, I mean, that might be what started him on this road. And then last year they discovered that they thought they got an edge by having a 6th offensive lineman on the field. And then this year, when the draft came around, the opportunity to find this Hawes to play this very specific role came up, and that got them to 3 tight ends instead of 6 offensive linemen. But I think it starts with Kincaid.
Sorry to cut you short, Mario. We need a break. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. This is WGR.
It is Sabres game night tonight. They host the Columbus Blue Jackets. Pregame coming up in about an hour at 6. A 6:45 puck drop tonight with the entire league in action. Good news for the Sabres this evening. Defenseman Michael Kessering is making his season debut. And then in net, all signs are pointing to Alex Lyon getting the start. And as mentioned, the entire league is in action. That's 16 games in all. We'll have 2 to get us underway at 6. That's Flyers hosting the Penguins and Calgary at Toronto. And the night's going to wrap up at 11 with San Jose hosting the Kings. For the Bills, it is an off day. They'll be back to work tomorrow. We'll get our first injury reports as well. But ahead of that, the Bills have made a number of team announcements. They have signed both defensive tackle Jordan Phillips and safety Jordan Poyer to the active roster and have placed defensive tackle Ed Oliver on injured reserve. Some other notes around the NFL. The Saints do make a quarterback change, going with rookie Tyler Shuck over Spencer Rattler, and the Patriots have agreed to a new 3-year extension with cornerback and return man Marcus Jones. And in baseball, Game 4 tonight of the World Series. First pitch just after 8. For the Jays, Shane Bieber on the bump, and for the Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers do hold a 2-1 series lead. And join WGR and Bud Light for Buffalo Football Friday Happy Hour. Schopp and the Bulldog are going to be broadcasting live this Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. You'll have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey. No purchase is necessary, and you can enjoy other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly, 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They have this Panther sound effect that is just the cheesiest, stupidest sounding thing. Big voice guy going, Panther goal scored by Sam Reinhart.
Where'd you get that thing? I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
It's Mike Schopp.
If you're calm, that wondrous big cat will be calm too. But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do. Namely, eat you with a smile on its face.
And the Bulldog. On WGR Sports Radio 550.
We don't have Brad Paisley singing the anthem tonight, do we? Because we'll be there all night if we do.
No.
That's kind of crazy that there have been 2 18-inning World Series games in history, and he sang the anthem at both. They're both in Dodger Stadium.
Right.
Not that far apart. Otherwise, that would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, it was 8. When was the other one?
17 or 18.
18, I think I saw. Yeah.
Boston.
All right.
Did you watch it?
I don't remember.
I know I didn't. I was thinking a lot about that last night.
I don't remember.
I mean, it's just thinking about thinking. It's kind of my style, but I haven't watched the World Series at all in years. I didn't watch the Dodgers beat the Yankees. I didn't watch the Dodgers play Boston. I didn't watch them play whoever else they might have played. I did watch them play Houston when Houston won its first because I had a bet on Houston. And that's 10 years ago, if not longer. So I just don't care. Texas, Arizona, rumor has it that there was a World Series between Texas and Arizona.
I don't believe you.
I just, not interested. But even though I'll say with the Jays that I am more of a bandwagon fan, I really only care about them when they're really good. And I don't know am I supposed to be embarrassed about that? I'm not. But I was thinking last night, of course, I say of course like you're supposed to know. I went to the second game in Toronto, paid good money to do that. I wanted to have gone to a World Series game in my lifetime, so took care of that. And then last night, my wife was the one, I was thinking about the Chiefs when I got home. And she's like, what time is baseball? I'm like, oh yeah. So I was really not thinking about it at all. Oh yeah, they're playing again. That seems right. They'd be playing again.
Right.
So we put that on, and we watched a few innings together. And I was thinking how, I must like them a little bit if I'm going to be watching this at all over the Chiefs.
Do you consider it's her sister and her husband live in you've got family in Toronto. For me, John Gale enters into the picture heavily. And so even when the hockey playoffs come around, I mean, I don't have to worry about the Sabres. I sort of get interested in Toronto. I don't know, rooting for them is hard, the Leafs, for me anyway. But I'm kind of rooting for them because of my friend. Like that happens. And this Blue Jay thing is definitely that. I think if I didn't have him in my life and we no longer have the place that we used to stay in the summers up there, I don't know that I would be thinking about the Blue Jays any differently than, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Probably because of proximity and because of the AAA relationship, like there would be some tether to them. But for me, it's very personal. Like I've got a friend who's blowing my phone up watching these games like by himself in his house in Ridgeway.
He didn't go 18 innings, did he?
He did. I woke up to a bunch of texts from him.
Wow.
Just like, where are you?
Yes.
Dude, you know where I am.
I got it just between us right now. I know and like this guy. I'm glad he doesn't have my number because I was up.
Yeah.
I went 18 innings last
He
night.
would have been all over you. Yes.
I went 18 innings. I'm feeling it too.
So for me, that trips a wire, in a way that almost any other Major League Baseball team wouldn't. Otherwise, it's just like a sort of passing interest. I mean, I watch the Yankees a good amount during the season. Their games are on in the market. I don't think if they were the team still standing, I would care that much about them playing the Dodgers, even though it's a historic, really history-laden baseball matchup.
Yeah, I liked the idea of it well enough last year, but I never got to it.
Yeah.
The only thing I know of last year's World Series was the one fan who, was it Mookie Betts in right? Who was the Dodgers player where the fan was like really aggressive and got banned for life?
Yeah. There were a couple of Yankee fans that interfered. Yeah.
I know that happened.
Yeah.
What else the baseball game did last night was lead to my forgetting about that parlay that I had with the Chiefs on it. I was going to hedge with Washington, and by the time I thought of it, it was 21-7 or no. When I thought of it, it was 7-7. I'm like, well, I can't bet Washington now. It's not going to be 12.5. You're not going to get 12.5 at Washington at halftime of that game. But then it went to 21-7, and I looked, and the live number was 16.5. So I played that. And now I win both if they win by 14 or anything like 13, 14, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
If they win in there, then I win both bets. So, all right, now I have a little bit more interest. I want the Chiefs to cover for the bigger win, but, maybe I can win both. 2 showcases. But what happened? Washington gave up.
They just stopped.
At 28-7, if not 21. They gave up. They're punting near midfield, down 2 scores, or 3. Which was it? And then you hate this, especially if you're a bettor. You hate this. All right, well, I've got a chance to sneak a win here out because it's garbage time. And backups are on the field and, prevent defense. I could steal this bet with Washington. But they didn't care. No timeouts were used. They ran the ball. Like they didn't care at all if they scored again. I don't know. Do you respect that? On some level, do you respect that? Because the game is over whether they score or not. It's not even their starting quarterback. Maybe you're preventing injuries by.
Yeah.
Can you? Do you have to go full velocity all the time if you're losing in an NFL game? Do you have to?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It's happened a couple of times this year. Gosh, I can't remember. It was the Raiders in that Chief game. The Raiders, I think they kneeled. Like they were getting killed. They're just like, we're not calling timeouts. Just like whatever. Just run the clock. Like, everyone just wants to go home. This has not been good. So I don't know. Maybe that's becoming more commonplace because I do feel like usually teams will try to, tack on something, right? Well, let's feel good about this. We had a good drive in the fourth quarter, down 20.
Washington had 4 or 5 minutes left at 28-7 with the ball, and they didn't care at all. Like they didn't even. It didn't look like they cared to score. I mean, they were not even hurrying or anything. I don't know. Of course, that annoyed me because of my action, but I don't know. That's it.
I had a friend who texted me this morning that missed out on I don't know how many legs. He didn't say how many legs the parlay was, but he needed two more rushing yards out of Mariota. And right before their final drive. He ran for 2 yards, but fumbled, and the ball went 2 yards backwards out of bounds.
I saw that.
And my guy lost on that.
That's awful.
It's just like, I'm like, that's the bad beat Hall of Fame.
That's awful.
That is incredible.
What is he even doing there? Did you see the play?
No, I did not.
Mariota, like, he's tough. He just sort of fell. Like, he was running and nobody's in the picture. He's got lots of room, and he gets near the – you want to maybe run out of bounds because you're losing. He gets kind of near the sideline and just kind of falls, and then the fumble out of bounds backwards. Not even like a slide or anything.
Yeah,
or a dive.
weird.
He just sort of tripped. Seems like there might be a lot of that, Mariota, over the years.
He had that play early where I think Joe Buck said – in the course of the play-by-play, just very run-of-the-mill, is like, Mariota jumps in the air for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he tried to hurdle somebody and, like, missed badly, and they ran another play that same side of the field, like from like the bottom of the screen toward the top of the field, a designed run, and he's just getting blown up and like, oh, dude, wow.
Well,
tough night.
Are we on to Kansas City now? Gotta be. I'm done with the Carolina game.
Oh, I'm done with the Carolina game. The only thing keeping me from the Kansas City game is the trade deadline.
Okay.
But, you know, the Kansas City game comes first.
It does. Interesting how this might have felt different 3 weeks ago. Or even, week 3? Before the Chiefs-Ravens game in Kansas City. And then Kansas City loses after that to Jacksonville. Remember, they had a Monday night game. Right. They lost in Jacksonville. This is definitely not how everybody feels. But I think I would say start of the season, coming out of last year even though the Bills lost to them again in the playoffs, there was a feeling of vulnerability with the Chiefs, I would say. Not that they would say it, but it seemed like a beatable team. Maybe this is the year, all of that. It does not feel like that right now.
No, they look like, and this has been a few weeks in the making, and there's been really no stopping it. They, to me, look like the best team. Whenever, it was probably after the Bills lost one game, where that week, all of our regular guests and even people who were just on for, you know, an appearance that week, I think you asked, like, who's the best team in the league? Who's the best team in the league? And I started to feel even then the Chiefs are the answer. They look like it's coming together. People were waiting to see what would happen when they got Worthy back, and that popped, and then Rice back, and it popped even more. And I mean, they had a bad first half last night, but
turnovers.
They did whatever they wanted in the second half of the game, basically. They just put the game away. Felt very autopilot last night to me. Them.
I didn't watch the first half, so I couldn't exactly say.
But it was sloppy. Yeah, there were two interceptions, and Washington just couldn't capitalize on it. They turned it over themselves on downs, and there was a turnover. So they could not finish anything off. But Washington moved the ball well. Maybe the first 3 times they had it, but they just couldn't get anything going. Like, ultimately, they couldn't get in the end zone.
There was a big Kelsey play down the right sideline. Rice went 9 for 93 in a score. Also came close to scoring 2 more. Stopped like inside the 1 twice, reaching for the pylon. Worthy 5 for 53 on 7 targets. They lost Pacheco. Seems unlikely that he'll play Sunday, Isaiah Pacheco. Which means Kareem Hunt, who just enough with the torture with Kareem Hunt in these games, having never drafted him once in like 7 years. But 9 for 40 and a rushing touchdown, also a receiving touchdown. That was a slick play by Mahomes on the Hunt touchdown catch. Really good play. And I don't know, like Pacheco got 12 carries in the game. Will they all go to Kareem Hunt? No. Brashard Smith is their rookie. 3 for 8 last night. I kind of needed him in some fantasy spots. Did not get there at all. He had a fumble in the game, too, that, coaches don't really love that. But I would think, my guess would be that he gets more and Hunt might get a little more. And really, most of it's going to be passes, especially if they look this good.
Right.
That's where Pacheco's usage goes, probably, is maybe to Rashee Rice more than anybody else.
Right.
Well, it's big. It's not Last year was big in its own way. What week was last year's game? 10 or 11? Pretty close to this. It was big in the sense of the one seed in the AFC. Kansas City was 9-0, maybe, coming in.
Yes.
And the Bills still had a chance to run them down, win the game, and then they do that, but never get there to make up that ground in the standings. But it was more of a, I don't know, you tell me, I'll just ask this, more of an air of inevitability between the Bills and the Chiefs. That here's this showcase regular season game. It's important in its way, but really, it doesn't. They're gonna meet again, and that's what's really important. So, it wasn't the biggest game. It was cool. What's this one? This one is more important. The Bills are in second place.
I think it is.
So are the Chiefs.
I think it is. Like last year, it was early enough. The Chiefs hadn't lost. You gave them their first loss. The Bills went to 9-2, so the Chiefs are 9-1. I think at that point the Bills had their bye right after, and the Chiefs had already had theirs. So it's in the window. Like, okay, can they stumble? They've been vulnerable all year. I got them, and I've got the head-to-head. So okay, right? We'll just stay with it here. And so that was a thing. I don't want to rewrite it to the point where we know it was a foregone conclusion they weren't going to get there, because they were separated by a single game after that meeting, and the Bills had the head-to-head. So it was in the window, but they kept winning, and it just became unrealistic. Right now, it's, to me, more complicated because of the Patriots. Like, I am not on autopilot cruising to the 2 or the 3 seed right now. I'm going to have to scrap. I got to catch them and pass them. I'm going to have to catch them and then ideally go beat them and pass them. Right? That would be what I hope happens between now and the time the Bills go there. When is that? Week 15? Yes.
Sounds right.
So the urgency isn't as much on I've got to beat Kansas City to keep pace with them or catch them, pass them. It's more about keeping pace with Indianapolis right now and New England, and making sure that I leave myself room to get a 6th straight division title. And every game from here until I see New England again is sort of carrying that, regardless of who I'm playing. So the Chiefs-Bills thing is, for me, I guess I would say, that's the first time I'm really talking it out, is a little more over there than it usually is because of the Patriots and because of the Colts. Like, I'm chasing a different team right now. I'm not really chasing Kansas City. I mean, I can do them some real harm here, and that would be great. I doubt that, I beat them and they lose a few more and end up not making the playoffs or something. I think they look like the best team in the league. So I think you're probably going to have to deal with them. But right now, I'm thinking more about who's going to beat Indianapolis for me. Maybe I need that to be the Chiefs in a few weeks, and I've got to somehow catch and pass New England. So as much as Kansas City and the Bills are like, and it's Mahomes and it's Allen, I mean, it's going to be 425 and Nance and Romo and the whole shebang. The pregame show is coming here again. They're going to be doing that on site like they did last year for the regular season game.
Who's on that these days?
It's the same. It's JB.
Matt Ryan?
JB. No. Matt Ryan is there.
He's not in the booth now?
No, he's on the panel there with Cower, and it's the guy that does Nickelodeon.
Nate Burleson?
Yes, thank you.
I mean,
that's the crew.
Is it the least bit watchable?
No.
Okay.
No, but it'll be here. And
okay.
They'll probably throw Bill Cower through a table or something. So, but anyway,
it's original.
The Chiefs Bills. I don't want to say it doesn't have juice, but it's just different. It is not. I'm chasing the Patriots right now, and maybe I'll still have to chase or be competing with the Chiefs, but they've already got 3 losses. I don't know. I'm not.
You're not really wrestling with them.
No, not right now. No. So,
but it is. Is it? Well, maybe this is debatable. To your point, are they the best 2 teams in the AFC? Maybe.
I think that's, yeah.
So you could still have the same outlook on how this is all going to play out in the end, where it's these guys. And I don't know, that might even, they've played so many times, but that might even be a thing where, like last year I thought about this, we talked about this a lot, don't show this or that because you're going to play them again, it's going to matter more. So even if the game is in Kansas City, maybe there's a strategic, something to be said for that. And here, I don't know if there would be that because of your point. Like, Kansas City, this would be a fourth loss for them. How many can you afford in the AFC? Maybe 6, maybe 7.
To make the playoffs?
Yes.
Sure. 7 at most, I think.
Unless you're in a division, like maybe Baltimore will win the AFC North at 9-8 or something. But for a wild card?
Yeah, and in the AFC West right now with Denver going and even the Chargers, I don't. If they lose to the Bills and get a fourth loss, I'd be really interested in what the division odds look like after that. Like if Denver, and assuming a Denver win again,
AFC West.
Yeah, what did I say? I said the wrong thing.
No, you didn't say.
Oh, okay. The division. Yeah, AFC West. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a fourth loss, and if Denver is still sitting on 2, we're halfway through. Like, that could be tough for them to make up.
It's an interesting weekend in the AFC. Very interesting. With this game, of course. But you also have Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. Want to guess the line?
Indianapolis is favored by 4.
3. On the road. And you also have Denver at Houston. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Want to guess the line?
Denver -2.
Houston is favored.
Get the hell out of here.
All right.
See you later. There he goes. Zach, what do you got for me? Yeah.
You don't have to ask me twice.
I'm really surprised about that.
I'm back.
And, the Chiefs, everything I just said about the Bills dinging the Chiefs with a fourth loss, the Chiefs can ding the Bills with a third loss, but they should be thinking the same thing. Like, they're chasing New England. I can do them some real damage here. So there is that, but it's just different. The fact that the Chiefs nor the Bills are at the top of the conference and neither of them is in first place in their division makes it it feels different. I'm chasing other teams. I'm not just I feel like for 5 years on end here, all I've been doing is chasing Kansas City. I gotta get the one. I know they haven't had the one every year, but I gotta get the one. There was even a year where they came here to play the Bills in a divisional round because the Bills were that ahead of them. But neither team in first place. Obviously, that means neither team is in the one hole right now. That's different.
I assume you know the Bills line because I didn't ask you that one.
Chiefs 1.5, I think.
Yep. 2 at MGM now. 2 and 52.5. So that at that one book, the line is moving a little bit toward Kansas City today. See what happens. I might expect the Bills to get some love as it gets later in the week. Start to think about the home crowd and, maybe there'll be injury news on this front that could affect that besides. But right now, Kansas City -2 on the road. How does that sound to you? 803-0550 is the number. The Sabres host Columbus tonight. Pregame at 6 here on WGR.
Pregame coming up in about a half hour as the Sabres are going to host the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. 6:45 puck drop as the entire league is in action this evening. Good news, though, for Buffalo tonight. Defenseman Michael Kessering is making his season debut, and in net, all signs are pointing to Alex Lyon getting the start. And as mentioned, the entire league is in action tonight. That means 16 games in all. We'll get underway here in about a half hour with 2 games, both starting at 6. Flyers hosting the Penguins and Calgary at Toronto. And then the night is going to wrap up at 11 with San Jose hosting the Kings. For the Bills, it is an off day. They'll get back to work tomorrow. We'll have our first injury reports as they get ready for Kansas City. But today, the Bills did have some team announcements. They have signed both defensive tackle Jordan Phillips and safety Jordan Poyer to the practice squad, and with that have placed defensive tackle Ed Oliver on injured reserve. And then Game 4 of the World Series is tonight. First pitch just after 8 o'clock. For the Jays, Shane Bieber is on the bump, and for the Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers are up in that series 2-1. That's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Okay, your calls are welcome, 803-0550. We are mostly on to Kansas City, but we got to get Bulldog, well, we don't have to do this at all, away from the trade deadline. Maybe your mind is more on that than the Chiefs. Let us know. Sabres pregame at 6. Patrick Mahomes is the favorite to win the MVP. He's 1-2. Plus 140 is the number I saw this morning on BetSweats. Allen is second at plus 350. Big game and win from Allen, that might flip.
Sure. Yeah. In this head-to-head matchup, in this spot, yeah. I think it's interesting that his passing numbers, his numbers overall, really. I mean, it's not like he's running for 80 yards a game or anything. I mean, he's got, 5 touchdowns on the season. Even that, no, it's not modest, really. It's through, 8 games here or 7 games, so it's pretty good. But he's not having a great statistical year at all. He had the one incredible opening night performance against Baltimore. The rest has been pretty modest, and that he's still second says a lot, I think. It's just, people expecting what you just said. Like he's going to plant a flag somewhere, and then everybody's going to run to it. So we want to make sure we don't ever make it too long, the odds on him. Because, he runs over some linebacker or some safety on his way to a game-clinching touchdown, and throws for 280 and a couple scores. They'll be right there again. He already is right there. He hasn't gone anywhere. But a lot of people will get on it, I think. So when you're that level of player and you've won it already, yeah, you're like 1 or 2 good showings away from being right back on top, I think.
A head-to-head win here would be the big one,
Right. I
always say about MVP, you've got to win 12 games or 13 games. And the Bills did that last year, and Allen won. I feel like that's what you have to do. You have to be a quarterback of a top seed. If not the 1 seed, one of the top seeds. And Allen's win last year qualifies for that. There is not, this was kind of true last year too, there is not, other than Mahomes maybe, anybody that like you would have to have in the conversation, I think, of the quarterbacks. Like Allen, I think you said it all. His stats are okay. The Bills have lost a couple. They're in second place. Like he has to be considered live for the award. Mm-hmm. He's just won it. But it's not like you're not blown away by what it looks like.
There's nothing undeniable about his candidacy at this point.
Not at all. So how many guys are there, though, where you would maybe think about it? It's still early, I recognize. Mm-hmm. The third choice by the odds is Drake May. And there's a guy that is new to the conversation, and he's getting, tons of credit, naturally, for the season they're having. So you've got May. You had Baker Mayfield, but he stumbled against the Lions in prime time and then wasn't much last week, even though they won easily. And then there's Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
And they had good conversation this morning on Bet Sweats about this, like whether Taylor is, could he possibly win the award? And Sam asked Joe at one point, I think it's 14-1 was Taylor's price that they saw. Sam Paniotovich asked Joe Ostrowski, would you bet it? And Joe, he thought about it and he said, no. Then they had a guest on, Will Brinson, who said, it's ridiculous to think Taylor will win. Ridiculous. It's a quarterback award.
Yeah.
Look at his numbers, though.
Yeah. I think I want to play the game a little bit. And by the game, I mean, think about the voters, right? Because we did this last year, and I think we were right on it with Lamar and Allen. That Allen won over Lamar last year, even though the stats were really relatively flipped from the year before, where Allen had a lot of better numbers than Lamar Jackson, but Jackson got it. They had the 1 seed, etc. So now he's won it twice. It would be really hard for him to win it again, right? And he had a better year statistically than he had the second time he won, and still Allen got it over him. And that's the voters. That's not wanting to give, this was a point you made right away, a third MVP is like legacy stuff, and let's slow down. He hasn't had playoff success really, and so you don't want to crown him to that level yet. So that opened the door for Allen.
That's the only explanation for why he didn't win.
Yeah, I think so. And we were right on it from when the first time we talked about it in September through the year. That was our logic, and it was correct. So that doesn't mean that what I'm about to say is going to end up being correct. But I would give Jonathan Taylor more of a look at it than I was willing to give Saquon Barkley last year. Last year, anytime you would have brought it up, he's on his way to a 2,000-yard season, it's record-setting stuff, whatever, however you wanted to frame it, be like, no way. This is not, a running back's not going to get it. If we're into another season where a different running back is going to be having the same arguments made about him, I feel like more of the voters will be susceptible to it. More voters will be open-minded to the idea. Now, other things have to happen. Mahomes has got to calm down. Allen has to keep being sort of, pretty meh statistically, right? You can't have a quarterback that has an undeniably great season on a team that wins 12 or 13 games. They're going to win the award. But if Mahomes and Allen both win 11 and their stats aren't incredible, and Taylor just keeps going like this, he's got 3 touchdown games already this season, which is insane. I think that's
correct.
I wouldn't rule it out the way, you just said, Will Brinson did, because of last year. I would want to take last year into account, and I still don't think it's that likely, but it's more likely this year to me than it would have been last year.
That's interesting. The touchdowns would be, if I knew that, that's probably where I would start. I mean, the Eagles have been good or great for years before Barkley, so that worked against Barkley too. Mm-hmm. That he wasn't going to get credit for all of what Philadelphia was doing. Whereas Taylor, it's even better for Taylor in the argument space that Daniel Jones, we kind of all thought was lousy. So
right.
It couldn't be him, right? It couldn't be Daniel Jones. Barkley last year had 15 touchdowns and 2,200 scrimmage yards or something like that. I mean, record stuff. And Taylor's at 14 already. He's at 14 touchdowns through 8 games, 10 in the last 4. It's crazy. He could get to that pace is a 30 touchdown. That's Tomlinson, peak Tomlinson.
Yeah,
he get a 30 touchdown season, and if they go to 14-3 or something,
and he has 25 touchdowns or something. And the quarterbacks are sort of, they're taking turns picking one another off, right? Mahomes has been really hot lately. If the Bills cool him off and Allen cools him off, then they just can sort of eat one another, the quarterbacks. And I just think the voters are people. And while I do think last year, another thing, I don't know, I think this would have come up. We talked about it often enough. I think there is a certain amount of, within enough people who vote, to sort of, well, it's better for all of us if more guys win the MVP, right? There's more interesting guys in the league. That's more content. Like, I just think subconsciously even that can work on the people who vote. The thing with Barkley last year happened. Maybe people felt like he was the best player. They heard about it from their friends. Maybe they've got a text thread with their old friends from Grand Island like you do.
Oh,
and they're just bombarding. How could you not vote for Barkley? Look at the season. Whatever. I just think last year existing and Barkley having the year he had could help Taylor.
Yep.
So it's, to me, it's still, but I want to be clear. I don't think it's that likely, but it is, to me, it's more likely than it was last year because last year exists.
Jonathan Taylor, 14 touchdowns through 8 games. The Titans have 8 touchdowns.
Man.
On offense, at least. Here's Patrick with us. Hello.
Hey, guys. I've been thinking about this game from a betting perspective, and granted, Vegas already has all the information I'm about to share with you, but I just like talking to you, so I wanted to call.
Thank you.
So I was thinking, obviously the Chiefs are coming on a short week, and it's on the road, and they just kind of lost their starting running back, and I'm also just sort of interested in the idea of, especially around this time of season, like betting on teams, I guess teams that haven't had their bye yet versus teams that have had their bye. I'm sure there's probably been efforts to quantify sort of that edge, but there's something comforting about knowing that, it's almost November. Our guys have had a week to rest, and the Chiefs are, again, coming off a short week on the road. They're probably at this point in the season, like Todd Bowles said, getting pretty run down. And then the last thing is just like it got talked about initially, but I haven't heard much about it lately. But now they're just sort of indefinitely missing their first-round pick starting left tackle, and that doesn't sort of bode well. So you're going to kind of come in to Buffalo with a depleted line and Kareem Hunt, and just like you're the favorite. So I was thinking about this because I was remembering a call Sal had after the Super Bowl earlier this year with a beat reporter from Kansas City, and they were sort of saying like, yeah, they still have Mahomes and Reed, but this might be a little bit of a mini rebuild. I think they were exposed. They had a little bit of close game luck last year. Oh, yeah. And then here we are, 6 or 8 months later, and they smashed the Raiders and the Commanders, and it's like the Chiefs are back to being the best team in the league. It just felt like we were a little bit too ready to sort of receive that information, maybe a little confirmation bias. So I don't know. I think the Bills are kind of an interesting contrarian bet this week. So
all right.
I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. I mean, you make a good case. Guess we'll see. There was an optimistic report on the lineman, Josh Simmons, over the weekend. That was it. Andy Reid even saying it, that we thought they thought he'd be back in a few weeks or something like that. There was something positive said about that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything over the weekend. Before we left here for the weekend, I know I saw Reid say, he's doing all the right things. He's where he needs to be and that kind of thing. Like there's definitely support there, but I don't know about a timeline. Okay. They did dismantle Detroit 30-17 before they beat the Raiders in Washington, and like that's really it.
All at home.
Sure. They had Baltimore, but Baltimore's not really Baltimore. But the Detroit win was the start of this for them. That was after they lost to Jacksonville, and is that not when they got Worthy back, or was Worthy back even before that? Anyway, whatever. The Detroit win sort of stands out amongst the Vegas and Washington to me.
For sure. Thanks, Patrick. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. The Sabres play at 6:45. We'll have pregame at 6, and we'll spend the entire pregame show reading tonight's NHL schedule, because we're going to need the entire time to do that. There are 16 games in the league tonight. We probably should start now. I'll warm up. All right. Thank you. Paul Hamilton at 6 here on WGR. Prop bets on Shohei Ohtani tonight. Minus 185 to record a hit. It takes a certain possible outcome. You know, you're making a certain assumption if you bet on Ohtani to record a hit, and that's that the Blue Jays pitch to him at all.
Right.
Do they have to pitch to him at all? What would you think? Does he leads off the game? I mean, Toronto bats first against Ohtani. Maybe the score would affect how you would answer this.
Yeah.
Do they walk him to start the game?
No. I think I pitch to him. If I get 0 runs, I pitch to him. If I get 4 runs, I pitch to him. I think I'm pitching to him to start the game.
Okay.
After that, what's the situation? You know, but he's leading off. I'm not giving them a base runner free to start the game, no matter who he is.
I agree. A caller earlier criticized the Blue Jays for not walking him more often last night. I couldn't say it. I mean, I still think you're going to beat me. I still think my odds are better than 50-50 to get you out.
I was watching that, and they were talking about it on the broadcast. When he doubled in the whatever that was, the 6th or the 7th to tie the game at 5. I was too drawn into the theater of him batting to think about whether he should be walked or not. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to see him hit. I wanted to see him pitch to, because that's what I'm here for. Like, sure, I want Toronto to win, but it'd be pretty cool if you struck out Ohtani in that spot, right? So, like, go get him. Blue Jays, like, had a little bravado, I guess, even. But mostly it's just I want to see the great player do, like, who wants to see that guy intentionally walked?
No, the game's in Toronto, too. They got him out. Like, he led off game 1, top of the first, and Savage struck him out, I think, to start the game. Does that sound right? Like
I don't remember. I did not see the start of Friday's game.
In game 2, I was there. He popped out. He fouled out to third twice, Ohtani. Like, he doesn't always get hits.
Right.
He's just, last night was crazy, and his previous home game, the end of the Milwaukee series, was even crazier.
Right.
So he's on a roll at home. Also on a roll at home, the Sabres. Alex Lyon, 7 starts, 6 considered quality starts by the definition of the term. And he'll get tonight, we think. Paul Hamilton will join us from whatever rock concert he's at. After the break, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Sabres pregame next. Stay tuned.
Pregame is on the way next as the Buffalo Sabres are at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck drop at 6:45 tonight with the entire league in action. Good news for the Sabres heading into this game. Michael Kesselring is set to make his season debut, and then in net, all signs are pointing to Alex Lyon getting the start. As previously mentioned, the entire league is in action tonight. 16 games in all. We'll get 2 of them underway here in just a moment to get the night underway. Flyers hosting the Penguins and Calgary at Toronto, and the night will wrap up at 11. San Jose hosting the LA Kings. Off day for the Bills. We'll get our first injury reports and back to practice tomorrow, but today some team announcements. They have signed defensive tackle Jordan Phillips and safety Jordan Poyer to the active roster and have placed defensive tackle Ed Oliver on injured reserve. Saints making a QB change. They are officially going with rookie Tyler Shuck over Spencer Rattler, and the Patriots have agreed to a new 3-year extension with cornerback and return man Marcus Jones. Game 4 tonight in the World Series. First pitch in about 2 hours at 8. For the Jays, Shane Bieber on the bump, and for the Dodgers, it is Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers do lead that series 2-1. And join WGR and Bud Light for a Buffalo Football Friday happy hour. Schopp Bulldog will be broadcasting live this Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Neighbors Pub, 337 Kenmore Avenue. You'll have a chance to win a Josh Allen jersey, no purchase necessary, and you can enjoy other Football Friday live broadcasts coming up at Leo's and at Mitchell's. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
All right, a 6:45 face-off downtown tonight because everybody in the league is playing, and they've staggered the start times up and down the schedule from 6 o'clock, which is right now, to an 11 o'clock start out west. We get 6:45. The Sabres host the Blue Jackets, first meeting of the season. Buffalo in it 4-5 off the overtime loss in Toronto, 4-4-1, 9 points. Tied for 5th with the Leafs, identical records after their weekend series in the Atlantic Division. Montreal is on top. Boston and Tampa are the 2 teams behind the Sabres and Leafs in the Atlantic. Columbus is similar, 4-4, 8 points, 7th out of 8 in the Metro. New Jersey at a clean, cool 8-1 is up top. Paul Hamilton joins us now from KeyBank Center. We're a little bit later along here as we hook up with Paul because of the earlier start. And I thought that might have been louder music, but I don't know. It's there.
Yeah, we're stuck in the middle with you.
Are we ever? Your thoughts on the Toronto set, Paul?
You know what? If I would have said before it started on Friday, you're going to play the Toronto Maple Leafs and you're coming home with 3 out of 4 points, I would say, yeah, you're signing up for that. But here you are, you're playing a really good third period. You're up by a goal. And basically, Toronto scores on its own scoring chance in the third period when your goaltender should have made the save.
Yeah.
So you easily could have walked out of there with 2 wins in the series and 4 points instead of 3. So I don't know how, and to the players' credit, they were kind of like, no, we're not satisfied. We should have won. And then you didn't get a big save in overtime. Yeah, it's John Tavares, and it's a breakaway. I get it. I need a big save there. I need you to bail your teammates out there. And so that's the last 2 goals, tying goal and that goal where I need a save and I didn't get it. And, you wound up getting 3 out of 4, which I think is very good. But once it played out, it's like, yeah, but you should have had 4 out of 4.
Yeah, Luukkonen, I think Luukkonen cost him. You said it. I mean, I think he cost him the point, I would say. I mean, the goal to tie the game was tough. And, I don't know how hard I want to be him about giving up the breakaway, but the kid on Wednesday night made like 3 breakaway saves.
Right. It's not an easy save. I'm not saying
right,
it is.
Right.
But good teams get a save there.
Yeah. I wonder how hard. I would expect them at some point here to really want to embark on project get Luukkonen up and running. I just wonder how much rope they'll give that, because he was not, in my opinion, good. I think he hurt them on Saturday, and
I think he agrees with you.
Okay, Luukkonen,
he was on the postgame show.
Okay,
and he said the same thing. He goes, "I got to have that puck."
Yeah.
I said, "Were you screened?" He goes, "Doesn't matter." He goes, "I got to be able to fight for it and see it." He goes, "I got to make that save."
Well, I just wonder how long it'll take them to get this sorted out, because the 3 guys are here. I think, Lindy sounded like he wanted to be able to trust that Luukkonen isn't going to get dinged before they risk losing Ellis. So that makes sense. But Lyon's been really good. Paul, his goals saved above expected is really good. So I would want to keep riding him 2 out of every 3 or something, I would think.
Yeah. I think it's another thing where analytics and the eye test line up when it comes to Lyon. And, he has been very good. And it doesn't seem like Lindy Ruff is real excited to get Luukkonen rolling, to be quite honest with you, when he talks about it. So to me, he hasn't come right out and said it, but I still think right now Ellis is the backup, and maybe Luukkonen is. We'll see.
You mean Alex is the number 1? I think you misspoke. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and Ellis is the backup.
Oh, Ellis is the backup. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Ellis is the backup.
My bad.
I might have said Lyon. I meant Ellis.
No, you said Ellis, and I thought you said Alex.
Yeah.
So I just got confused.
He's the backup, and Luukkonen waits, I think, is the way it'll boil down. But how long will it take? I don't think a couple of starts is going to tell us if Ellis is an NHL goalie. I think this is going to take a couple of months, to be quite honest with you. Unless Lyon falters or gets hurt and Ellis winds up playing a lot, then maybe you're going to find it out a little quicker. But if he's the backup, I don't even know if you'll know by Christmas if he's a NHL goalie or not. And I'm sure Luukkonen. Let me. I don't know if you agree. I have never, ever since Luukkonen last year had to start alternating with Devin Levi to start the year, when Levi proved nothing, and Luukkonen basically took the job at the end of the last year with his last 30 games, and he shows up the next year, and they're alternating. I have never really gotten the vibe from him that he's happy here anymore. He just seems like it's like he says the right things, but he just doesn't seem like it's. I just think he felt disrespected there, and he felt, what do I have to do to win the job? What is this guy playing every other game for? Because that was another example of Adams trying to push this goaltender, and it didn't work. And then they finally threw him down to Rochester, where he belonged anyway. And then it was Luukkonen's job, and he faltered. But I don't think he was mentally right. I mean, if you want to call him a little mentally fragile when it comes to that stuff, whatever. But I don't know. That's just my opinion, and it's just a sense I've gotten that that's kind of where it kind of fell when between the Buffalo Sabres and Luukkonen.
Paul, what can you give us in a minute here on tonight's opponent, the Columbus Blue Jackets, as we look at our spotlighted matchup, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. When it's game time, it's Tully time.
Well, Marchenko and, of course, Voronkov, the 2 Russians, have been very, very good for them, and Lindy Ruff is worried about their speed. And it seems like Buffalo does have problems with speed over the years. Maybe they're a little better this year when it comes to that, but that's really what they're worried about. So they're going to have to find a way that these guys don't get wheeling. And Werenski from the back end, he's got wheels too, and he joins. So they have to take time and space away from this group if they want to beat them. But the Sabres have won 4 in a row at home.
As things calm down there, at least temporarily, we will have to wrap. Thanks, Paul.
Take care.
6:45 start tonight. We will get to Lindy Ruff here in a moment. You going to watch all 16 games?
No, I'm going to watch this game and then try to watch some baseball. But that is my plan tonight.
Sometimes with baseball, you can just put that off until like 1, 2 in the morning.
I've heard that. Yeah,
catch it. Not the end. But
I'm going to hope for a normal baseball game.
Lindy Ruff's pre.